It's Cyberverse time again, bitches! Ha! You didn't bet that I would find more stuff in Transformers Cyberverse. Well, I'm in a mood today, and y'all are gonna listen to me info dump. If you know me by now, you know that Transformers Cyberverse is my favorite show in the franchise overall. Like, I talked about in depth about the main elements that made the show work so well, along with specific thoughts about every episode individually. By the way, you can see those in the description below. Then I realized something. Oh yeah, I forgot there's other characters that are not Optimus Pringle and God's gift to humanity. Thus, that's when my brain started thinking about how I feel about this lovable cast of misfits and skrunklies. Like, after all, they are what made the show work as a whole. I think it's time for them to take the spotlight. Once again, I rewatched the show to make sure that my opinions are up to date as possible and to bring up new points that I have about each character. Additionally, I'll only be including main characters and side characters that have story relevance and have more than one appearance. Sorry, Conehead stans, they do not count, plus they're very ugly and annoying. Sorry. The list will be divided into my usual tier names. Unicron for characters I do not give a shit about. B. Stop lubricating the man for characters I am indifferent to or have beef with. Sentinel Magnus approves for characters that I think are alright. That's just Prime for characters I deeply adore. And finally, yes, for characters that are indeed best of the best. As usual, these aren't just my personal opinions, so you don't have to agree with me on everything I say here. Also, Cyberverse Megatron stans, please don't kill me. If this goes according to plan, maybe I can do another list sometime in the future for characters of other shows. This would be a fun idea to do with characters from shows like Animated or Beast Wars, and an immediate death sentence for shows like Robots in Disguise. I am going to regret everything if I ever make that video. Anyways, in a nutshell, I'm very excited to talk about the good, the bad, and the cheater of my favorite Transformers show again. Let's go! Also, here's your mandatory Cyberverse spoiler warning because I will go into everything in the show. Let's go!
Parasites!
Man, Megatron X is such a nothing character. Like, the only cool things about him are his color scheme and making Megatron realize that being a bitter divorcee got him nowhere in life. Oh, when I get to you, I'ma keep it 100. Here's a realization I had when I had Cyberverse on in the background while writing this script. 1, to take notes, and 2, to fulfill my bi-yearly Cyberverse serotonin needs. You wanna know why Tarn is a fantastic finale villain, other than being God's gift to humanity that you all should bow to and worship until the end of time? It's cause there was enough time to get to know him and understand his fucking deal. The Perfect Decepticon gave us enough time to understand Tarn's motivations and showcase his personality. Bro accomplishes his goals with one arm. Tarn is what Megatron X should have been like. What else is there to say about Megatron X? Nothing. What is his personality and what are his motivations? Oh, also nothing. He is essentially Megatron if you make him unseasoned tofu. Just God, he is such a nothing character. Even Prowl has a goddamn personality. But with this guy, there is literally nothing about him. He is worth shit. Cause where the fuck were you during the last part of the season? Just, ugh! I literally could not give less of a shit about Prowl. Just, in general, I really don't like him unless it's animated Prowl. Just regular Prowl is boring as unseasoned tofu. Just what else is there to him? And here in Cyberverse, he is especially an unsalted, unseasoned, and improperly cooked slab of tofu. I promise this is my last tofu analogy. He's literally a background character that shouldn't even count for this list, yet somehow John Hasbro decided that he should get a toy instead of Tarn. He, of all fucking characters, got a toy, yet Tarn never even got one. Just, what kind of world do we live in? Cyberverse Prowl is so boring that I have never met a Cyberverse Prowl fan. No, I am not joshing you. I have never actually met somebody who's a fan of this Prowl. He's so boring that my friend Quinn literally forgot him when they made their Cyberverse personality quiz. Oh, look at that! I got Hot Rod. Damn, that is just sad. Man, this Prowl sucks. If you're one of those stans, good for you. Unfortunately, I am not one of them. I'll never forget the day I first laid my eyes on this despicable, wretched creature from the depths of hell. Every time I lay my eyes on this abomination, every horrible possibility for my favorite Transformers characters increases up to 1,000. Puppies get their toys taken away, and Santa Claus gets run over by a reindeer anytime this thing appears on my screen. How do you even create something so vile that it makes the most evil villains in animation feel ashamed of themselves? What did we do to deserve the presence of such a heinous and nauseating creation of the devil? Why does this thing need to exist? Why do we need to see such a grotesque creation with such despicable hatred against lesbians? The presence of this truly insidious creature is something all TORBs fear, and rightfully so. Bludgeon is a plague upon mankind that could never, ever be seen again, and it must be locked away in the bottommost layers of hell so that he may never terrorize another lesbian again. Yeah, fuck Bludgeon. All my homies hate Bludgeon. Hey, quick question. Why does every version of Drift after the IDW comics suck? Like, I could give him points for not being a racist stereotype like his Bayverse version, and like not being an insufferable prick like his Rid 2015 version, but that's just giving him way too much credit. Like, we all know it, he fucking sucks. Like, he's not even worth talking about because at least with Megatron X and Satan's Crime Against Humanity, I felt something. I feel utterly nothing about this Drift. Who gives a shit about him? I don't give a fuck about him. Now, get out of my sight before I get annoyed. Whew! Thankfully, we go upwards from here. We only have 2 entries for B, stop lubricating the man tier, so let's go.
Bumblebee, stop lubricating the man.
The Shirticons are alright. Like, personally, they feel like the downgraded versions of the Viacons. Like, they're just there in the background most of the time. Like, they're nothing to write home about. Well, at least they have cool designs. When it comes to specific designs, though, I find the big jocks, like, kinda ugly. I think the bailiffs are much cuter. Oh dear Megatron, you beautiful hot mess. I mean, he's an entertaining girl failure, and at least he has some depth. But at the same time, his stubbornness eventually went from amusing to genuinely irritating. Like, the asshole was willing to let his entire civilization die twice because his stubborn ass refused to accept that yes, he lost the war. Also, quick question. Why you didn't tell everyone about the homicidal version of yourself that is gonna destroy your planet like an idiot? Good God, Megatron, how can you be this fucking stupid? And also, he was an abusive asshole towards Starscream. Honestly, it's kind of ironic that he's been my YouTube profile pic for the better part of 6 years here, yet he has gotten worse as a character for me over time. Good God, Megatron, get a grip. Okay, we're done with the B tier. From here, our road gets higher and higher. Let's go!
I'm Sentinel Prime, and I approve of this message.
I'm not gonna lie, the first contestant judge is pretty alright. The faces are really cool, and they're legitimately threatening, and I think the voice acting is one of the very best in this series. However, I personally think that the scientist and the second contestant judge are a bit way more interesting. Plus, the way they were taken down is just too funny. They went down like little bitches. Okay, so this may be my most cancelable take, so please hear me out. If you take out the B, I don't feel so good moment and his dynamic with B and Hot Rod in this episode, Blur is just kind of there. Like, it's kind of odd that he wasn't brought up at some point later in the series, besides his ghost appearing in the Meteor Fire episode. Like, you think that his death would have been a crucial point in Bee's and Hot Rod's storylines, yet they kind of forgot about him. It's kind of a shame that we didn't get to spend more time with him, but at least we have Cheetor to fill the blue boil in the base color boil squad. I do see the appeal of this Blur though, which is why he's in this tier. And the same can be applied to Hammerbite. Like, honestly, he's kind of the least interesting member of the post-Quintessence ARC squad. Like, sure, he got a cool design, he got a cool voice, and his beef with the Dweller is pretty entertaining, but at the same time, compared to, like, the Yeehaw Cowboy, the Australian, the Funny Bug People, and El Woo Woo, he's kind of forgettable. Though, his design and his role in this episode is what keeps him here. Other than Sound Blaster and Tutacon, the other mercenaries are just fine. Afterburner is the least interesting one because, personally, I find the Conehead design, ugly. I'm just gonna say it. They're kinda ugly. Double Crosser is just there. Actually, let's be real. They're the rack and ruin that some people claim they are. At least they make me appreciate that Cyberverse didn't make the twins annoying. I'm thankful for that. Bugbite has plenty of funny lines, and he's Bumblebee with just a little bit more spice, but at the same time, he isn't, like, anything to write home about. Nightbird is probably my favorite out of them. Like, she's a cool RC recolor, she's a very pretty lady with a long history of violence, and she has several funny moments in this special. The Seekers have this logic as well, since admittedly they aren't as fleshed out as Slipstream. Individually, this could be their own mini ranking. Thrust is the boring one, Skywarp is cute, but she is just there. Nova Storm is also cute, but also there. Acid Storm at least has more screen time, and also they're very gender. Thundercracker is honestly the best one out of the bunch since he has plenty of funny moments and his whippy personality is just so charming. This same logic also applies to the other Dinobots. However, they have an advantage over the Seekers and Mercenaries since we got more time to know them and they have a fun dynamic with Grimlock. Slug, Snarl, and Sludge are basically discount versions of Wreck and Ruin. Like, there is no need to distinguish between them. They're basically the same character. Also, their indifference towards Swoop trying to talk to them about her plan rubs me the wrong way. Just, no. Still, they're just himbo goofballs, but they're lovable himbo goofballs at least. Swoop is my favorite out of the bunch. She has a cute design, her eccentric inventor personality makes her so lovable, and she serves as a great comedic straight man to the other Dinobots' knucklehead antics. Anyways, out of the three groups of characters, the Dinobots are the ones that stood out to me the most. Honestly, the Titans can go here as their main purpose is to be the big guy when the day needs saving or serve as a means to an end. Still, when they show up, it is fucking awesome. Iaconus is the least interesting, Croatan is pretty neat, and the Dweller is my favorite mostly because of his cool design, creepy powers, and his menacing presence. Anyways, the big boils are neat. Affluus is perhaps the most underrated antagonist here. Like, sure, compared to the Dweller, Wild Wheel, and the other two, he's nothing to write home about. However, I find it to be pretty funny with his snooty, rich white boy energy, as well as being surprisingly threatening with him trying to uphold the classism in the Monsterbot city. Like, he's actually way more sinister than most of us realize. Like, yeah, assholes like him do exist in real life. They will screw over the lower class just to keep their wealth and power. Yes, this guy is an allegory for Elon Musk. Like, I think for that, we should give this guy more credit for the hidden layers underneath his evil millionaire demeanor. Like, that's really the brilliance of Cyberverse. Cup is a neat character due to his role as an entertaining narrator in the finale of the Quintessence arc. Honestly, he has plenty of funny one-liners throughout these episodes, and him riding on Skullcrusher's back so that the latter can snack on some yummy Sharkticons is pretty epic. However, what keeps him from the upper two tiers is the question of the framing device for these episodes. Like, who is he talking to? Is this a recording in the future? Is it in the present? Is he being held hostage by someone? Is it in his imagination? Like, is it to a future generation of Cybertronians? Just, what exactly is this framing device? This is one of life's mystery that will never be answered. Anyways, Cup is neat. Teletran X is a very funny little guy with plenty of great moments throughout the series, and his dynamic with the Season 1 main amigos is very cute. Honestly, they could have easily made him annoying, but somehow it managed to make him both adorable and funny to the end. The only downside is that he kinda got pushed to the side after Cybertron was restored, but thankfully it got remedied with his appearance in the Perfect Decepticon. He's just a silly little goober, just look at him. Lockdown is the best out of all the characters in this list, mostly due to his friendship with Clobber. The friendship that these two have is just so wholesome and so lovable. I love that the Lockdown didn't abandon Clobber like in the Perfect Decepticon. Just their friendship is legitimately beautiful. However, at the same time, I find it odd to name him Lockdown when Lockdown is mostly a badass bounty hunter with a long history of violence! Plus, it's a shame that he got the short end of the stick while his bestie got all the layers. I think he could have benefited from being included in the Rebel Squad or at least get more focused. Still, he's a lovable knucklehead himbo, and I think y'all should stop hating him. Okay, now that we got the good lines out of the way, now let's go get to the really fun part. Everyone else, I cannot wait. Let's get into it. Let's fucking go.
That's just Prime.
Repugnance and his funny bug buddies are pretty good. While they don't have much story relevance, they're still very cute and funny. I like how they help Bee and Cheeto reach Cybertron's core. I love them teaming up with Grimlock to overthrow capitalism, and I'm so glad that they came back in the finale to help out in the fight against Tarn. They're the Pichu of the Cyberverse character roster. Everyone indeed came back. They're quite underrated, and I think more people should appreciate these funky little dudes with a long history of violence. Wild Will is very epic. The only thing holding him back from yes tier is that it's pretty strange that he wasn't brought up in the previous seasons when his story is quite dark when you think about it. My poor guy had to survive on his own, and the others didn't remember that, hey, they left a friend behind. Honestly, he has every right to be upset at everybody for getting him. At least they should have realized that they forgot somebody. Still, leave my angel alone! He forgot! Speaking of that, it's strange that his beef with My Beautiful Princess got pushed to the side, and he kind of just exists to be the straight man in Megatron's wacky shenanigans. That's just so strange. Other than those questions, he's quite a cool character. His cowboy vibes reminded me a lot of animated Lockdown. His voice is pretty cool, and it's funny that he's one of Optimus's bitter ex-boyfriends. Oh my god, that man really needs to take a vow of celibacy from how many fucking exes try to kill him throughout the show. Oh my god. Overall, Wild Wheel is a cool character that I hope shows up more in future Transformers media. Other than the issues surrounding his writing and how his relationship with Megatron is portrayed, as I mentioned in my retrospective video, this is an entertaining Starscream. His manic little bitch energy is very entertaining as usual. His descent into Big Bad is very cathartic due to the fact that he almost won. And he gets even more unhinged when he becomes a goddamn quintessent judge. Honestly, good for him. He deserves a win once in a while over Megatron. Good for him. If only he had better writing. Compared to the other characters, Bumblebee is just good. I mean, he has a fun personality, he's cute, he's memeable, his relationship with Windblade and the other characters are very wholesome, and he has plenty of funny moments. However, at the same time, he is just vanilla, I'm sorry, but the other characters are more interesting than him, like basically, he got overshadowed by them, like, they're the stars of the show. It also doesn't really help that for some strange reason, the third season is titled The Bumblebee Adventures when really that is Hot Rod season. Plus, the post-quintessence episodes function more as an anthology in my eyes, though like he just happened to like appear in them. Still, he's an 8-tier Bumblebee, he's not great, but he's still likable. In spite of his short screen time, Ratchet is quite entertaining and enduring, like he especially shines in Rack and Ruin and Ratchet where he and the twins result in legitimate comedic gold. Like he's a lovable grump who serves as a great straight man to Rack and Ruin's wacky himbo hijinks. Like he gives off such medical school graduate energy, just what a lad. And speaking of Rack and Ruin, they're surprisingly funny and enduring when the series could have easily made them annoying. Like I mentioned back in my Cyberverse episode ranking, an episode focusing on them specifically sounds like a disaster on paper. However, by some miracle, they didn't overstay their welcome and they remain lovable himbos to the end. It also helps that beforehand, admittedly, their Energon box running gag is very funny. Like, honestly, Wreck and Ruin is what all dumb comic relief should be like. Hey, Perceptor, my main man! Yeah, boy! Man, Perceptor is so fucking awesome. Not only does he have plenty of badass moments, all while doing this blind, by the way, but he's also a great straight man to the others in the squad thanks to the sheer amount of snark and sass in his lines. Just, he is so majestic. Also, we gotta give Jeremy Levy some, props for making him such a well-rounded and likable character. Just, man, the funny microscope man is so good. Oh my god, I legit forgot that Astro Train exists until me and Reno Varka chat about Cyberverse on Discord the other day. Reno, if you're watching this, please don't kill me. Anyways, so this is a pretty good Astro Train. What I really like about him the most is his cool-ass voice and his undying hatred of Dead End. Just, the funniest things are the things that really doesn't have, much of a backstory. It is so funny the more you think about it. Huge props to Tony Daniels for giving him such a menacing, badass voice for this big boy. Just compare his voice for Astro Train to Taylor Chan X's voice. It's like night and day. The only thing keeping him from yes tier is that I wish that we got more time with him. Still, he's an entertaining big boy. Low-key, Dead End has no right in being such a fun character. His snark-to-snark dynamic with Perceptor is so funny and gay in spite of the small screen time. His one-liners made me laugh aloud several times, and having to put up with Astro Train's undying hatred of him is comedy gold. It gives off such animated Legged and Shockwave energy. It's just glorious. However, what prevents him from being in the yes tier is one issue. He literally faced no consequences for abandoning his friends so that he can just fuck off around the galaxy with Megatron. Honestly, if I was Hot Rod, Clobber, Soundwave, Roll, and especially Perceptor, I would not want him in my life again. The asshole abandoned his friends for literally no reason. And I am not joshing you. We never got a reason why his character development was undone in just one utterly stupid and disrespectful turn of events that should have been treated with the gravity it deserves. Still, if it's any consultation, Astro Train bullying him is a fitting punishment enough, and he's still at least entertaining. Meteor Fire and Cosmos are the best T for T couple, that is a fact. Their relationship is so cute that it makes you genuinely root for Meteor Fire to free Cosmos from the evil alien on the moon. And speaking of him, he is such an entertaining character. Not only is he a neat and cute shout out to Steve Irwin, but his wacky Aussie hijinks make him such a delight anytime I watch this episode. Plus, his dynamic with Bee is very neat. I especially love how both finale episodes brought them both back. Like, it's the equivalent of everybody is here in Smash Bros. For one wild ride. Just, they do mean everybody will come back for this last adventure. Just, it's so neat. In spite of her short screen time, Chromia is a pretty good character. Her dynamic with Perceptor is funny and wholesome due to how much they care for each other. Her relationship with Windblade is so gay that it's majestic, and her trying to gain back all her girlfriend's pieces with B gave us enough time to get to know her. While not amazing, she's best girl. Speaking of Windblade, she's the more interesting half of the fruity duo. She has a cute dynamic with B, is in a loving relationship with her girlfriend Chromia, has a very gay love-hate relationship with Slipstream, and she has a delightfully spunky yet chill personality. Plus, she has plenty of awesome fight scenes, and she manages to defeat the greatest evil to humanity, that is Bludgeon. My only issue is that she got pushed to the side like near the end of the show, especially since like her being in a coma gave me animated RC war flashbacks. Thankfully, after she woke up, she got story relevance again in the finale. Overall, she's best girl. And speaking of Slipstream, man, Slipstream is such a great character. Like, she's actually more important than most people realize. Like, after all, like, the entire Decepticon and Autobot unity happened because she was the one that came to Windblade first so that Windblade could warn the others about Starscream's gremlin antics. Like, she's essentially a key player in the overall scheme of things. Like, if it wasn't for her, the entire ending wouldn't have happened. Like, this is what makes Cyberverse so brilliant, you guys. It's all the little details. Anyways, the main moral of Cyberverse is that lesbians will save the day. Damn, she deserves better. Whirl is Thundercracker, but better. Just, he's such a lovable and adorable nervous wreck, responsible for like 2 of the funniest moments in the show, like getting crushed by the giant cube over and over again, and like the he's coming moment with the cutest, most innocent voice in like I've ever heard. Like, it is great. Like, I honestly don't mind the personality change from his characterization in the comments, since like he still has that like unhinged energy of his comic book iteration. Like, he has no right in being a good Whirl. Man, dicks out for Shockwave. Like, bro literally gets bullied a lot, like, in this show. I feel so bad for him. Anyways, he's a pretty good Shockwave. His divorce dynamic with Wheeljack is so gay and great. His rivalry with Soundwave is comedic gold, and he's a loving father of tiny little spider robots. Like, really, my main issue with him is that, like I said back in my previous ranking, his doubt over Megatron's leadership and being tempted to overthrow him is strangely forgotten rather quickly. Like, with the build-up in Season 1 and 2, you think that he would be the main antagonist at some point. But nah, he dies after trying to poison Cybertron with his rancid vibes. Oh well. Honestly, it's such a shame that he had so much potential, yet all of that gets flushed down the toilet. Still, at least he's a good Shockwave. Sound Blaster is another funny yeehaw cowboy, but with a little bit more edge than Wild Wheel. The backstory of his beef with Soundwave is hilariously petty. He has a pretty cool voice, and compared to the other mercenaries, he's pretty damn fun to watch. Like, I'm a bit surprised by how much fonder I've grown of him over time. Like, that really speaks a lot about, like, his appeal as a character to me. Oh, and Chertakon is pretty alright too, I guess. Aw, hell yeah, El Woo Woo, baby! Just, what an awesome dude. Like, he's absolutely the best character out of the post-Quintessence ARC squad. Like, he has such a badass design. His wolf design is pretty fucking awesome. His backstory is epic along with some cool-ass visuals, and his personality is just so charming and amusingly heroic. Well, I think there's another character that fits the heroic silly guy much better. El Woo Woo is pretty epic. And we have finally finished That's Just Prime tier. Now, here's the moment you've all been waiting for. The Yes tier characters. Let's fucking go, gamers.
Yes.
Clobber is Ultra Best Girl. Not only does she resemble God's gift to humanity, but she manages to be one of the best characters in the show. Like, her relationships with Lockdown and Hot Rod are so wholesome. She has a pretty good character arc that resulted in her joining the Autobots, and she has plenty of funny moments and lines. However, like I said back in my Cyberverse retrospective, I wish that she didn't get the short end of the stick and that there was more time to develop her decision in joining the Autobots at the end. Still, Clobber is very based. Hey, it's Jetfire, the gayest opera singer in existence. Aw, hell yeah, baby. Man, he has no right in being such a heroic, silly guy who's also very gay for the funny Sharkman. Just, not only is he great meme material, but he's so hilarious with trying to be the knight in shiny armor, when really, this man has no brain cells. Just God bless his soul. Oh my god, he's so great. And speaking of the funny Sharkman, Skybite easily steals the show for me out of the two of them. Like, imagine if you had Rid 2000 Skybite, but you even make him more gayer and unhinged. Just, he's hysterically manic and an ultra theater gay, which you can't help but smile every time he comes on screen. Only thing that would have made him perfect is that if he had more screen time, but what we got is enough for me to enjoy this funky shark dude. Cheeto is the best kitty meow meow. Like, he's just a sweet good boy who just wants everybody to be all kumbaya and make out or something. He not only has a good dynamic with Bee and Hot Rod, but he can also kick ass while also being a very cute kitty. However, I wish that the series could have elaborated on like his connections to Starscream when it comes to the Allspark, and it felt kind of gross that everybody just forgot about him after Cybertron came back to life. With Shockwave, it makes sense. At least nobody in the cons would bother to mourn him. However, considering that Cheetor became a good friend to them and has helped them out multiple times, like, I wish that the show acknowledged that, hey, Cheetor is gone. Still, Cheeto is a good character, and he's an excellent iteration of everybody's favorite kitty Meow Meow from Beast Wars. The Scientist is honestly the best Cyberverse villain, especially when you consider that this is a quintessence we're talking about. Like, these guys are just the Supreme Court, except worse. However, with this dude, he's a creepy goober who is legitimately threatening, along with being responsible for the biggest Uno reverse card in the show. Just everything about him works. The Boris Karloff voice, his sound wave collecting obsession, and how he works smarter, not harder when things don't go according to plan is what all you need with a good-ass villain. I hope that he becomes a mainstay villain in future Transformers media, cause he's a creepy yet awesome dude. Man, I just can't get enough of Wheeljack. He's funny, he's quirky, he's memeable, and he's Shockwave's divorced husband. Just, I love how unhinged he is, especially with getting new ideas to create crazy-ass inventions that are just very unique and creative. Plus, he's a great dude to his friend, and especially his new husband, Optimus. Just, what a lad, what a lad. This iteration is a funny man from the South, and I think he's one of the best for that. This is such a fantastic RC. She's so likable and sweet. Her friendship with Grimlock is wholesome, her fascination with animals is adorable, and she just has so much charm and personality. Like, shout out to her voice actor, Jamie Lamchick, for, like, giving her such spunk and energy that is so enduring. Like, the episodes starring RC and Grimlock are among my favorites to watch out of all the episodes in the series. Just, together, they're comedy gold. And speaking of Grimlock, Comrade Grimlock, baby! Fuck yeah! We got to my socialist brother from another mother. Hell yeah, bitches! Every time he's on screen, it's a fucking blast. He's a gay-ass theater bear, he has a great dynamic with the main amigos in RC, and he's very funny. Man, anytime he's in Dinobot mode is a comedic riot. Like, they could have easily made his Hulk mode annoying, but he manages to make me laugh out loud several times whenever he shows up. Just, whether in bot or Dino mode, Comrade Grimlock is easily the best Grimlock to date. Also, overthrow capitalism. Okay, fine! Fine! If I had my way, this character would have easily been the #1 character of all of Cyberverse. He has graced our screens to be cinema. He has brought harmony and peace through his presence alone. Crops flourished. World hunger has been solved because he appeared in Cyberverse, and he manages to be the most excellent comic-to-screen adaptation of a beloved character from the IDW comics. Unfortunately, I have to look at him as an actual character instead of my Lord and Savior. If you know me by now, you know who he is. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary pals, motherfucking TORB, baby! Okay, I will admit, compared to like the next 5 entries, he's a character that needed more time to shine. Like, he's a character who does show up last minute to give one last test to the Autobot Decepticon Alliance, and he probably should have showed up much earlier. But this is my ranking, and you're gonna fucking listen to me info dump about Tarn, damn it! Tarn has no right in being an excellent final boss after a long road of Starscream and the Quintessence being the main antagonist. Just, if this man isn't one of the most evil-ass motherfuckers in the entire show, then I don't know who is. It's so fun seeing him fool everyone into giving him the Cortex helm. He has a deliciously evil personality. His sway over Prime and 2 of the upcoming characters is brutal yet interesting to watch, and he is perhaps one of the only 2 villains who came close to winning. My man did it all with one arm, and when even Volcanicus can't put this guy down, you know you have a phenomenal Transformers villain. Like, say whatever you want about him, but in my humble opinion, he is indeed the best case of how to bring an IDW comic character to the television screen. Just, he is my everything for the better part of 3 years now, and I cannot be more grateful enough to Cyberverse for giving me another reason to continue living on this very cruel planet. And this reminds me that I need to make a 4-hour video on why I adore Cyberverse Tarns sometime soon, or else the sun will explode. Anyways, this man managed to change my life for the better, and he is me. I am him, and we are one. I will give my appreciation to Cyberverse Tarn until I am no more, and I will continue to gaslight you all into appreciating his grace and beauty. Watch me! I love this Optimus with all my heart. Just honestly, there's so much more to him than most people realize. He's a sweetheart who still remains so even when he faces his tragedies throughout the show. Just, I mean, come on! He's a wholesome father of 100+ who's doing his best. Like, y'all need to stop being mean to him. If you've seen the Cyberverse retrospective, you've seen all that I have to say about him. Just, in short, he manages to break the stoic and serious Optimus curse by being a genuinely interesting and flawed Optimus. Just, he's allowed to make mistakes, he's allowed to feel vulnerable, and he's allowed to be humanized. Just, with all sincerity, he is easily one of the best optimized so far. Just, I will continue to defend this beautiful angel until I am no more. Shadow Striker is a phenomenal character who has so much going for her than at first glance. Like Optimus, I dedicated a good portion of my Cyberverse retrospective to her character and layers, so I'll keep it short. She has a great redemption arc, she shines so much in The Perfect Decepticon, and in spite of her angry lesbian demeanor, she can be pretty adorable when she wants to be. Her high placement here is a good indicator of just how much of an amazing character she is. Fuck yeah, Peapod McAdam! We meet again. Man, McAdam is so fucking awesome. Just, he's such a sweetheart that is so kind to everyone, no matter their designation. He has a cool yet tragic backstory, and he has plenty of badass moments. I mean, my man manages to make Megatron stand down just by transforming. Just, Peapod is the GOAT. If only he moved out of the way in time and lived on to bring us more awesome Peapod moments. Just, why can't we have nice things? Oh yeah, Soundwave is that great. At first, he looks like he's gonna be a funny gremlin man with a long history of violence. But as the series goes on, like Shadow Striker, he has a lot going for him than most people realize. He has a great compelling redemption arc, his dynamic with Hot Rod is so gay that it's fantastic, and yeah, he's really funny. If there's really one issue with him, I feel like that maybe he got the spotlight too much over characters like Clobber and the other Rebel Squad amigos. However, that's really only a nitpick since he's still based. And speaking of his boyfriend, Lads, I have thought long and hard over who will be number 1 on this ranking. After going through all these characters and debating over their ranking placements for like a good while, I found a character who has no other spot than number 1. A character who manages to soar with flying colors. A character who is perhaps the character that won me the most by the end. And that character is Hot Rod. No, it's not the fact that Travis Arts is my legal father until the end of time, though he is a crucial aspect of what makes Hot Rod work. Just, Hot Rod is a character who manages to shine as basically the main character of the show. In seasons 1 to 2, he was a silly little guy with an ego, but a very enduring ego who has a great bromance with Cheetor and B. He likes to have fun, and he does funny car race moves, charming stuff to be sure. Then, the evil Squidwards arrive, and he has a compelling storyline of being the leader that everyone needs in this time. Like, sure, he has imposter syndrome and insecurities over whether or not he's a good leader, and let's be real, Soundwave is not the easiest person to get along with. However, by the end, he became the leader that Optimus knew he would become when the time was right. And honestly, he's so likable and charming that you want him to succeed. You root for him to save the day, and he has grown so much that when the perfect Decepticon rolled around, he was such a natural at it. It also helps that Travis Arts brings an energetic edge that brings Hot Rod to life in the best way possible. Just, you can tell how much he genuinely loves being this character, and it's honestly so cute and admirable. Just like how the many greats in the past are indeed their characters, Travis Arts is Hot Rod. I cannot think of any other perfect casting for the Hot Cheeto boy in Cyberverse. Cyberverse Hot Rod is not only the triumphant return of a character that hasn't appeared since animated, but he is the gem that shines the most in a sea of shining gems.
Autobots! Optimus, if you'll allow me. Autobots, beam out!
Talking about Transformers Cyberverse is something that I will never get tired of. Just, I will take any opportunity to revisit this amazing show that helped me out in my last years of high school and got me through college. Just, I'm sad that this is probably my last video about this show since I have more topics I want to talk about on this channel. However, if there's another opportunity, expect the subject of Cyberverse to be brought up again in the future. Just, I'm really glad that more people are talking about it and that I have found more fans who love this show as much as I do. Just, it's the reason why I found my voice in the Transformers fandom. Just, for changing my life for the best. I will be forever grateful to this amazing little show from the late 2010s. Anyways, thank you all so much for being patient with this video. Like, I know that I took so long to put it out. That is just because of school and work and plus the medical issues I had like around late last year. I deeply apologize for that. I promise that I'll be more consistent from this point on. Just talking about Cyberverse just immediately puts me in a good mood. So, like, I just love this show. Like, what else is there more to say? Anyways, in terms of the future, I'm gonna go pick up work on an upcoming Bayverse video. Keep an eye out for that. And I would love to talk about Beast Wars sometime this year. And also, I'm part of an EarthSpark collab. Keep an eye out for that as well. So, anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like the video. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.